Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Talking Dogs with Ante. As usual, Wednesday evening, time to talk
Mic
to some
feedback
famous dog
off.
people.
Mic off.
And as usual, I'm always trying to find the best of our dog world and to find people that have done a lot, not only as breeder and judges, but people who have really been a part of a dog world in every possible sense. We had a wonderful interview last week with Tina Taulos and a lot of viewers, a lot of comments, and I'm sure it's going to be the same this week. We are almost on 150 people already watching live, and the numbers are going up. So I'm very happy, and I'm sure that my guests will be very happy about that. I must tell you just before we start that the same as the last week, we have a giveaway. You can get wonderful prizes if you put the picture of yourself watching the show, or in our Facebook group Talking Dogs with Ante, or on Instagram, where you tag me and put the hashtag Talking Dogs with Ante, and you can get amazing prizes from thegroomingland.com and mambo.hr. So this is it about from me for the start. And now is the time to introduce my guest tonight, which was born in Norway, but is living for quite a long time already in the UK. He has been extremely successful in many different breeds. But what I must say that when I had my first ever interview, my guest was Andrew Brace, and he said, as the answer to one of his questions, he said, if I would need to give an empty check to one person to buy me top quality dog of any breed, I would give this check to Sigurd Wilberg. So my guest tonight is Sigurd, and I'm sure you will understand why Andrew was thinking that way about him. Good evening, Sigurd. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you very much. I'm fine, and I hope that you and I can entertain our audience and probably put some smiles and some laugh on their faces.
I'm sure about that, because I know you as a person, and I know not only how much knowledge you have about the dogs, but that you are a very positive and happy person. And I'm sure that there are many people who know the same about you, because we have already, 23 comments, and we didn't even start yet, from people from all around the world. I'm going to read just a few of them before we start. Maria Luisa Doppelreiter is saying, why I'm the first here and many more are coming. Julie saying hello, taking a break from work this evening to enjoy the interview. Nicola Spencer saying good evening from the UK. Ekaterina Domogotskaya saying hello, dear Ziggy, hello, dear Ante. Andrea Haider, good evening from Austria. Sabine Rauchut, good evening from Germany. Valentina Barcella, Roger Caria from Brazil. Oliver Noonan from Ireland. Joyce O'Connor from Dublin. Cecilia Marin from Romania, Valentina, who is now enjoying her time in the USA, Anastasia Paunovic from Serbia, Franca Leporati, so happy to see you, Mr. Wilberg, hello from Italy, Andrew Brace, so good to see two of my dearest friends chatting about a wonderful life in dogs, and many other people. I'm going to try, Sigurd, from time to time to read the comments and tell you all the friends that are saying hello to you, and possibly some of them will have some questions, but I'm sure they are going to enjoy next 2 hours with both of us. Let me ask you first one thing, Sigurd, and this is what I ask all my guests at the beginning. How much did your life change with this pandemic? I mean, you were used the same as all of us to travel around, to judge, to show your dogs, and then suddenly everything has stopped. I know, or I'm not 100% sure, you can tell me if I'm wrong, that Crafts was actually the last show that has been held in the UK this year. There has nothing been happening after that. How did you find your way to survive these crazy times at home?
I find it very depressing. I really do. It's like this virus has taken my life away. And I am, of course, getting on in age. I'm not a young man anymore. And when you lose 1.5 to 2 years in the final years, it's hurtful. I had plans, and it's all scrapped, and we don't know.
Yeah, but anyhow, I know it's depressing. I mean, obviously, it has been depressing for all of us. But I suppose that in the UK, the same as here, there has been really a lot of talking on the TV and in the newspapers in the last few days about this new Pfizer vaccination, and they say it's almost ready and it's 90% efficient, and they are going to start to vaccinate us soon. So, do you have some hopes that this crazy thing is going to stop soon
Yeah.
and get us back?
Yes, I do. I'm sure the vaccine will like, and of course you have Astra as well, AstraZeneca, the huge English company, is just around the corner as well. So that will of course help.
Yeah,
It's no doubt about that. But of course,
yeah,
they went away. They have gone away with it so hard. The lockdowns here have been worse than at least in Scandinavia, where I have most of my friends. They've been very, very hard.
yeah. I know. I mean, different countries obviously had different kind of approach to this. I must say we are happy in Croatia because at least we managed to have some shows. I have managed even to have split shows this summer. And also now the numbers are really bad, but we are not in a complete lockdown. The things are working. The restaurants are open, cinemas are open, gyms are open. So somehow
Yeah,
we
yeah.
are having let's say a normal life, but of course it's far away from the normal life. What do you think, Sigurd? Are there any chances that crafts will be held in March?
Well, your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah.
The Kennel Club is saying it will, but
Yeah,
we're
nobody.
just going to have to live. I find it very, very difficult. Of course, it will. Whatever happens, it will be a very, very different show.
Yeah,
And of
that's for
course,
sure.
I've been to a lot of craft shows, but this year was a bit special for me because I'm down to do the utility group. And I have been waiting many, many years to get on the green carpet in the big ringing craft show. Quite sad if it doesn't
Yeah,
happen.
yeah, but let's hope it. Let's be positive. Let's hope it's going to happen. Let's hope they are going to do this vaccine quick. Now we are all going to get vaccinated.
The guess among my friends is that the first show will be in Bath in the end of May.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what.
but let's hope that I don't know. Let's hope that better times are ahead of us because we need to stay positive and we need to think that things will get better. Otherwise, we will all get crazy.
I know.
And you are lucky, Sigurd, because obviously when you are depressed and so on, you go and you do these all things in your gym that you have.
I go to the gym.
Yes, and me, for a difference of you, I go to eat Domino pizzas, and it's not good for me.
Yeah, that's the good thing. We have been able to stay open, which of course is a very good thing.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. Okay, let's go, Sigurd. Okay, let me just try to catch up a little bit on the comments before I start with serious questions because in not even 10 minutes we are already on about 200 people watching and we have almost 50 comments already. So if I don't read some of them to you now, I'm not going to manage to catch them later on. Let me see, where did I stop? Okay, so we have Peter Akat saying good evening, Tom Hehir saying good evening from Dublin, Romy saying hello from Belgium, Marco Lampero, hello from Finland, Pirjo and Marco, Mike Godai, good evening from Japan, Lisa Croft Elliott saying kisses from Belgium, Sean Williamson, look forward to this, Joe Bellis, hello from Switzerland and the Chihuahuas, Heidi Edelman from Finland, Nusha Friend, hello from South Africa, Jen Davis, great to see, Matthew Odi, hi Ziggy and Ante, Paul Conway, hello to great Ziggy, Asa Geyer, hello from Sweden, Mia Sandgren, good evening from Sweden, Sue Cox, hi from England, Carme Bulo Solek, hello from Spain, Natalie Ilonen, hello from Finland, Jackie Browns, hello from the UK, Kelvin Price, saying Sigurd is the most approachable judge in the business, love him. Irene McManus saying good evening from Scotland, looking forward to this chat. Cesar Yule saying so looking forward to enjoying tonight's show. What an honor to have Mr. Sigurd Wilberg. Jana is saying good evening from Finland. Karen Ling saying good evening from Tel Aviv. Christine Setania Loken Somberg saying Sigurd is one of the most influential people of my dog life. Looking forward to listen to his never-ending stories. Berge Espeland saying nice to see you both. Andrea saying hello, dear Andy and Sigurd. I'm very interested in this nice talking. Rita Wilbergs, hello, brother-in-law, and Ante, and many others. I'm going to catch up. There are a lot of people, Sigurd, 60-something comments. I'm going to try to catch on them, but I'm sure you are happy that all your friends are.
Thank you very
here,
much.
so,
Thank you very
yes.
much to you all.
Yeah. So let's go, Sigurd, in your young days. I know that, let's say that your life in dogs started more or less when you were 15 years old, which I would suppose that it means that your parents were not in dogs at least at this level like you are. So how did your story with the purebred dog start?
Well, my father, I grew up in Oslo, but my father was from a small farm about an hour's drive outside town. And we spent, the three brothers, me and my two brothers, we spent a lot of time, all 3 days, we spent a lot of time on his farm. We had a cottage there, and it was a second home for me. And my grandparents was sort of my second parents, really. And so you get very, very close to animals. And I was very, very taken by animals. And I wanted a horse, but that's a bit difficult to have a horse in a flat in Oslo. So, I wanted a dog, and my father said that when the time come that he can afford to buy a house for the family, the first thing he would buy after the house was a dog for me.
Oh, that's nice.
And that happened. And I got the German Shepherd.
And this German Shepherd, the first one, has actually, in a way, bring you to the world of dogs and dog shows and breeding and everything. How did it start?
The first one was came through the Alsatian club, German Shepherd Club, and he was a 1.5-year-old male. He was nice, but he was not a show dog. He was what we would give a second prize dog. But after a while, it was obvious that he was quite strong in temperament, and we gave him away to the army, to be honest. And where I lived, the chairman of the kennel club, Arvid Tangen, he lived there, and he was the most fabulous man you can ever think about. And he saw this young man being so keen. And when the dog came, we got a bitch from a very famous Norwegian shepherd kennel. And we bred from her, and that's where it all started, really.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is interesting to hear, because most of my guests always say that the first dog that they got was not a show dog, and there is always a kind of problem with it. Mostly people would say, oh, my first dog didn't have testicles or had a bad bite. Well, yours had a bad temperament. And I mean, I think that this is good for the people who want to start, that they start with something which is not immediately like going and winning best in shows, because make them like really work and try to get something better.
Yeah, that's right.
So you decided at that time that you want to get good German Shepherds and that you want to breed them, show them.
Yes. And then we lived outside Oslo, and it was a lot of fields and recreation ground there. So it's a lot of dog people around. And the big guys, so the established people, saw this young boy, or young man, and they encouraged me a lot. And we went to shows, and I started to handle for the big guys. That's how it really started. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't say professional, because I didn't get paid, but what I did get was that they took me around to shows, and I saw good dogs. And some of the shepherd people were very rich as well. They're big shipping guys, and they were seriously rich. And they went to Germany, and they took me with. We went to the Hauptzugshow, and they bought dogs, and yeah, that's how it all started.
That's how it all. But I mean, did you yourself start to breed also German Shepherds?
Yes, we bred a couple of litters. Yes, nice.
And
it was
and
okay.
then you stopped with the German Shepherds.
No, I didn't. I didn't stop the German Shepherd. I started interested in judging, and when I looked at all the judging, I thought, well, it's going to be possible to do it better than these guys. So I started with that, and I went to the Kennel Club's judging seminars or course. I was on the second one, the Kennel Club. I arranged the number 2. And I passed that. And I think I was best in the class, to be honest. And that's where it all started.
Yeah. Yeah. That's usually how it all starts. And tell me, Sigurd, you mentioned you started with German Shepherds, but then I know that while you were in Norway, you have also been very successful with boxers.
Yes, but the Welsh Corgis came in before that.
Yeah.
Because when I went to agriculture college at the University of Oslo, and I went to England, and I was on a student exchange with the Milk Marketing Board, and I worked for 3 months at the waiting station for bulls, where they have up in Scarborough. And what do a Norwegian young man do when he's up there? I went to every dog show I could even think about. So I went around to a lot of dog shows, and I got my eye on this. What turned out to be Welsh Corgi. To be honest, I haven't even seen the breed before that. And this dog won everything. I won everywhere. And I thought, Jesus, this is a nice dog. And as I said, I hardly knew the breed. Anyhow, I really fell in love with this dog, and I could speak about it all night, so I won't do that. But I wanted to buy him, and the woman didn't want to buy him. And then we got very, very good friends. And then she said yes. And then I spoke to my father, and I had no money. So he lent me the money to buy this dog. And listen to this, yeah. I said to my father, I want to buy this dog. And I promise you, he's going to be best in show at the first show in Norway.
And did it happen?
He did.
Wonderful.
He went best in show in Elverum in November in '67.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, at least you kept your promise, because otherwise you would be in trouble.
The year after, he was top dog all breeds.
Yeah, because I read your CV, and I'm aware of the fact that you have not only been involved with many different breeds, but actually that you have been extremely successful with many different breeds. And I know that that you actually introduced the modern Welsh Corgis to Norway in the '60s, and that you were first chairman of the Welsh Corgi Club.
Yes.
But your brother and his wife are now still in Corgis, and they are very successful.
Very, very. I'm very proud of them. I'm very, very proud of them.
Did they get this love for the breed from you, or how did it happen?
Yes, it came from me initially, but my brother, which also was in Shepherd, he was also in Shepherds, but he got very, very, very keen on the Welsh Corgis. And when I married Kari, she wasn't. Welsh Corgis were not for her. She didn't like the head. She came from Schnauzers and Poodles and that stuff. She didn't like a Spitzer. Okay. So I actually bought her a very, very nice young dog as a wedding present, but even that didn't stay. I called him Hope, but that wasn't enough.
But there was no hope.
No, so he went to a good friend of mine, and he made him up an international champion. That did a lot of winning.
Yeah, well, okay, and so you made a big compromise in your marriage, obviously, with the breeds. Tell me, there have been few breeds during your stay in Norway, and few breeds when you moved to the UK, and there are few of the main breeds which I want to talk a little bit longer about. But let us just quickly pass these other breeds which have not been so long a part of your life. I will tell more or less about which breeds it is, and you tell me shortly the story. How did it start, and how long did you have them, and maybe the most important success that you had with the breed. So let's start with the boxers, because I know you had boxers in Norway.
Yes, I had. Yeah. Well, everything with me and dogs, everything has started with me seeing a good dog, regardless of breed. That was the Corgi. And then we went to England with some boxer friends of mine. And Kari and I, we were sitting ringside watching boxers then, obviously, because that was their breed. And into the ring came a red dog. And I said, Jesus Christ almighty me, that's nice. So he won the class. So I said, well, we're going to buy this dog. So anyhow, she didn't want to sell it. There was Pat Heath, and she was the dying in the breed with the Seafeld kennel. She had a big Picasso, and she was the lady in the breed at that stage. But anyhow, we wanted to buy him, and we went down there, and we went down to Somerset, and just to go down there at that time, there was no motorways, you know. But we stayed down there for 3 days. And in the end, she agreed to send it. She wanted him out that year because she had won the puppy stakes and he was qualified for the final. But she promised to send him to us after that. And yeah, that was how the boxer started.
Yeah. And how long you were breeding boxers?
Well, we were top breeder in Norway for quite a few years, almost as long as we lived there, I think. Mm-hmm. So when did we have them? We had one with us back to England.
Yeah. Okay. Before we continue with other breeds, Sigurd, tell me just the thing that I forgot to ask you before. Canix, where did the name of the kennel came?
That was Kari's name.
That was her name.
And so I think it comes from Canix familiaris, so that's where it comes from. So I think she has got that name with the help of the Secretary General Olaf Roig of the Kennel Club. My prefix was Sigurd, you see, and that's of course what my brother has now, because he got the dogs and he got the prefix.
That's nice. So you got as a wedding present, you got a prefix, and your brother got yours. That's nice. But I'm sure that, as you said before, it makes you very happy to see that your brother is still extremely successful with the breed, with his wife, and actually it's carrying very well the name that he got from you. And then on one of the posters that we have published before the interview, there was you with the Scottish Terrier.
Yes, that's very true. That was the same. I saw this Scottish Terrier at Windsor, and I loved him, and I bought him, and we brought him back. He was a nice dog, but when I got to understand more, he lacked a bit of bone and he lacked a bit of substance. So he was a nice dog, and he did a lot of winning, and he won a group in Norway. But in hindsight, he was a very nice show dog, but he wasn't a very good Scottish.
Yeah. Well, that's something that you learn. You learn by the time when you got involved in the new breed.
Yeah. But further to that, I'm going to tell you this story about the boxer because I think it shows how different the dog game is then. We had this dog Jerry, and I gave him best of breed at the boxer club at the English boxer club's open show, and I was traveling back by train per plane because I was working, and Kari took the car home. And can you believe it? When she came home from the ferry, she had this dog with him. So she brought this dog. Yeah. Can you believe that? It's true. There came this dog, and he was top boxer in Norway quite a few years. And we were so much in love with this dog, so he came back. He spent 6 months in quarantine with him back. And then Kari was showing him at the Southwest Boxer Club show. And Bill Sigurd was judging. Listen to this. Kari comes in open with this dog. Bill Sigurd goes over him, up. And then suddenly he says, everybody heard it. Kari, he said, stand over there. Stand over there, Kari. He said, I'm going to give you the ticket. Stand over there so I don't forget it. Can you believe that? Absolutely. And he did. He got a ticket. You wouldn't get away with that today, would you?
No. That would cause a lot of controversy today, I think. Yeah, but okay. Yes, I mean, we all have these funny stories from the past, but I mean, it is obviously something that you like to do. I don't know. I think it's still till today and we are going to talk about that. But like, you go somewhere, you see one dog or you judge one dog, and if you like it, you want to buy it.
Yeah.
This is something that you like to do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's nice. And then tell me, Sigurd, also another breed that is being mentioned while you were living in Norway are the Kishons.
Sorry?
The
Yeah,
Kishons, Wolfspitz.
yeah. We had a few Kishons, but that was just. We had a couple. We made up a champion. Two champions. Yeah.
Two champions. Okay.
It was a nice dog, but we worked out that wasn't really anything for us. So it didn't stay. He went back to the breeder.
Okay. And then I know when we started to talk about this, and then Andrew said to me, more or less in the same time when I received the email from you, he said, you must ask Sigurd about this Boston Terrier. And it was more or less the same time when you sent me the message.
Yeah, I was I've always been very interested in toy dogs, and of course utility here is but as you know, FCI Group 9 then.
Yeah.
And I had a very good friend, and the fact is, I was the first chairman of the Toy Association in Norway, because it was a lot of big, strong women in there, and they couldn't agree on who going to be chairman, so they persuaded me to be chairman to sort them out. Anyhow, one of them, a lady called Toris Holman, she's been nagging me for years because she wanted a top Boston Terrier. Every time, because we spent every summer in England. 1 month every summer we spent in England, touring all the shows. And anyhow, we were at South Wales Kennel Club, and we happened to sit ringside the Boston Terrier ring. And Joe Braden was judging. And in the ring comes this Boston Terrier, and I thought, wow. And he was fifth. He was fifth out of 5. So, but that didn't change my opinion of him, of course. And then I went up to the lady, and I introduced myself, and I said, "Madam, I want to buy a dog." She said, "Young man," he said, "he was fifth in the class." "Yes, I know that," I said, "but I thought he was the best one." So she looked at me and said, "He was. It was just Joe Braden playing games with me." Anyhow, I tried to persuade her. It was an elderly woman. It was the court button woman, and I mean, she was the breed. I had no idea, absolutely not the faintest idea, but she was quite elderly. And I was nagging her, or not nagging, but speaking to her all day. And then suddenly she said, I persuaded her. I told her what a fantastic home, because it was a fantastic home. Yes, she agreed for me to buy him. Can you believe that? But she did. She said, "I am getting on now. I can't have so many dogs. And you are so keen on this dog, and I know you will do well with him, so you can buy him." So I bought him. We took him with us there and then, and he was entered at East of England. And a lady called Marion Fairbrother was judging. And he got the ticket and best of breed out of puppy.
Nice.
Can you believe that? And he was in the last 3 for the group. He wasn't second, but he was. The group judge pulled out 3, and he was one of the 3.
Wonderful.
We took him home to Norway, and he was top dog in 1967, all breeds. And here is the punchline: Joe Braden gave him the group at the big show.
Okay.
Can you believe that?
Yeah. Well, okay. So, yeah, there are these. You have a lot of these funny stories, and yes, we all know how it works sometimes. But yes, I think that it's always. I'm very similar to you. I'm not so much into. I don't have this eye that I only want to have one breed or whatever. But whenever I see a nice dog in any breed, I want to have it. which obviously brings me to problems from time to time. But yeah, that's it. What I want to ask you next, Sigurd, is your story with the Schnauzers. Because as you wrote in your CV, Canix is probably the only kennel in the UK who made up the champions in all three sizes of Schnauzers. And I remember seeing the photos of this dog, I think was called Otello, that has been a big winner and was winning best in shows. For how long did you stay in the Schnauzers, and what was your story actually with the Schnauzers?
We had them for quite a few years, and of course, the love started in Spain really, because at that stage they had some fantastic Schnauzers in Spain, all sizes, and they started because the job. Hans Lettin was a very good friend of ours, and he spent some time with us when he was over in England judging. And we were sitting there speaking, and he said he knew about this. I said, so Kari said, I want a giant Schnauzer. So he said, well, it's a giant Schnauzer in Finland. And he said, he's this absolute stunning dog. And I think he's going to go to America. But I'll have a look into it when I come home and see. And what happened was he was due to go to the States, but there was a divorce over there, so the dog out never went. And a long story, he came to us. Yeah. And we showed him in the beginning, and we got a reserve ticket. Second every time. He looked totally different. This was an upstanding dog like that, beautiful coat, harsh coat, looked like that. You know, those English ones looked like shit. Yeah. So, we couldn't beat them. We couldn't beat them. And then we call them the German Jesus, the Schnauzer Jesus, as we call them. And a guy called Machauer was judging the breed special. The breed, what?
Machauer.
Yeah, Machauer, yeah. He was judging the breed championship show, breed show, in England. And it was bang, bang, bang. Best of breed, yeah. No, he didn't even. That was only him. That was the only dog he liked. So they had a dinner afterwards, and then speaking, and he was speaking, and then people said, what do you think about the best of breed dog? He said, he was the only dog there. He's got everything. He's got type, he's got head, he's got eyes, he's got coat. He's a fabulous dog. That's it. And after that, of course, he won everything. It was done. Yeah. And he was best of breed at Crafts. And all the dog class winners was by him. It was his sons.
Oh. So he was also a great producer.
Yeah. The sad story is that he was poisoned. And he died. He was poisoned at the show. So it was a very, very tragic end to that story.
He was poisoned at the show?
Yeah. We think we know who did it, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah. But you had also other sizes of Schnauzers.
Yeah. The miniature, which also he came from Spain, and we made him up, lovely black pepper and salt dog, and we had a black dog who also came from dog, and he was gorgeous. He would have done a lot of winning today, but he was ahead of his time. We made him up, but he was too different as well. You know, the English was too yeah, looked like farm dogs, and he came in like that, you know. But we made him up. It was a nice dog.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Sigurd, I'm going to start with, let's say, about the breeds that have been the biggest part of your life. But let me catch a little bit on the comments, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to catch them anymore. And you will be happy to hear that in 35 minutes of the interview, we are already with 100 comments and people from all around the world saying hello to you. So I'm not going to read all. Let me just check if I can get some of them to read to you. Let's see. We have people watching from Hawaii. Johan Sandstrom is saying, hi, Ziggy. Lovely to see you at my dog. Jan Busta saying, hi Sigurd, hi Ante, greetings from Prague. Lynn Jamieson saying hi from Tim Kenix in Scotland.
Hi.
Ellen Blackburn saying, hi Sigurd, good evening from Ellen Stargang Daxons. Let me see what may. Nancy Evans saying, hi both, good to see Ziggy being interviewed from Amazon Dopes UK. Philip Lowell saying, hello from Yorkshire, been looking forward to this. Carol and Ron Ramsey, Torum Kerry Blues UK are watching. Let me see. Christina Simon Fassner saying, sorry for the late, happy to see my Wednesday night movie now. Francesco Cocchetti saying, what I find so good in these interviews is to know the skill of our judges, and this means to appreciate much more the effort they did in our dog world and the impact they had in breeding fabulous dogs like Sigurd did under Canix Prefix. Andrew Brace is saying, from those far off days of the original Pembroke Corgi, Sigurd had a natural eye. Tina Taulo saying, greetings from Finland. Hello, my friends. Just wanted to wish you and all of us an entertaining night. Terje Lindstrom saying, hello from Norway. Sigurd is a fantastic person with an excellent eye for the dogs, and he's always a fun company. Let me see. Andrew Brace is staying again. Still, Sigurd has the enthusiasm and passion he had as a teenager, and he has never lost it. Which Hans Erhard Grittner is saying, yes, that's right, Andrew. He still have the passion. So it's a lot of people watching Sigurd. Thousands of comments or hundreds of comments. I will try to catch on some more of them. But let's continue with our story. I want to talk now a little bit with you about the Dachshunds. I know you had Dachshunds in Norway. I don't know how much you were successful with them at that time, but you know you have been extremely successful with the mini wires in the UK. Tell us, how did the story with the Dachshunds start?
Yeah, I hadn't even think about that in Norway, but we did have a dog, and as I said, it was a lot of fields and leisure areas around where we lived, and a lot of people training classes and all that stuff down there. And one day I saw this lady with this Dachshund puppy. And then again, that was totally out of the blue for me. I just saw this puppy and I thought, well, this looks nice. So I said to her, do you want to sell your puppy? So she said, well, yeah, maybe, I don't know. Anyhow, long story. she sold me this puppy, and we had him home, and we fell in love with him, totally in love with him. And anyhow, so now comes the day when we're going to show him. Yeah. Breed specialty, Dachshund breed specialty. Yeah. Kari and I come in, bag, stool, sit down. Nobody, absolutely nobody. They come up to us, and Kari was on the board of the Kennel Club, and I was pretty well known, but none of the Dachshund people had no idea who we were. So they came in and they started telling me, yeah, the dog's nice dog, you're going to do that, and you're going to do that. Yeah. And it was a Finnish judge doing best in show. Even best in show. First show. First show. Best in show. All right. Yeah, it's almost unreal, isn't it? But it's absolutely true. Anyhow, we couldn't take all these dogs with us when we moved to England. So he went to a friend of ours when we went to England. And then I was judging a show in Finland in 1998. And in the Dachshund group, came this wire-head Dachshund. And I thought, wow, Jesus Christ. He won the group. And
you wanted to buy it.
Sorry?
And you wanted to buy it.
Hans Lettin was there. And because this was on Friday and the best in show was on Saturday. And I spoke to Hans at the dinner, and I said, I want to buy this Dachshund. So she said, forget it. You will never, ever buy him. It's in Marco Perio. They are listening now. I heard they were listening.
Yeah.
They said that he is the top dog in Finland, and he's probably going to be top dog all breeds this year. And forget it. They will never, ever sell him. But I'm going to try to get you a son of him or a daughter. And that's how it all started. We got this dog from Marco Empirio in Lampere, yeah, in Finland, and he came to Norway. He was a beautiful dog, but he got too big. Of course, we measured them, we weighed them in England.
In England,
and he was too big. And Ellen Blackburn, this you just mentioned, the Stargard breed, she saw this dog and she said, that's stunning dog. So she mated the bitch to him. And there was 3 champions in that litter. 3 champions in the Dachshund litter. Have you heard about that? Because I had.
No, no.
An English, it's more difficult to get an English champion than a Norwegian champion. Anyhow, and we got one of them. And that's how it all started. It rolled on from that. We got some more dogs from Finland. We got a very nice bitch from Italy, which we mated into this, and yeah, we had a very good time. We had a very good time with Dachshund.
12 champions.
We bred the 12 champions.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I want to ask you, Sigurd, because you mentioned that you bought a dog from Finland, and obviously you have judged the breed all around the world. When you compare actually the type of the Dachshunds in the FCI countries and the type of Dachshunds in the UK, are they similar? Are they very much different? What are the biggest differences?
Well, the miniatures aren't that different. The miniatures are bigger, of course. Of course, you have 4 sizes, haven't you? So you have the Canadian.
Three.
Yeah, 3. And you have 3. And we have 2. So obviously, our miniatures is a lot of the miniatures from Europe will be too big in England. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The only show where we don't weigh them is at Crufts. So that's why the foreigners win so much at Crufts.
Okay, so that's the story of success.
It's absolutely true. That is just they're probably watching. Some of them are watching here now. Yeah, and but they're lovely. We have some stunning Dachshunds in this country.
Yeah. And when you look at the breeds today in general, let's say the mini wires, what do you think that at the moment is the biggest problem of the breed? What would you like to see to improve?
The people.
The people. I never got that answer before. Okay. Should I ask more or I should stop?
No, don't ask anymore.
Okay.
That's why I finished. That's why I ended. That's why we stopped. Because one day I said, I came home from a show and I said to Kari, I've had enough. I can't. I'm in dogs to enjoy it. When we did a lot of winning, we were top breeders a couple of times, and we had top miniatures wires as well. But every show was a fight. I regret it. I really do regret. That's one of the few things I regret, because I have a passion for this breed.
Yeah. Okay, that was certainly an interesting story. But okay, you are a young boy. Maybe still there is a time for another Dachshund in your life. Okay, I want to talk now, Sigurd, about Bouviers.
Yeah.
Because that has been probably the breed in which you have been the most successful with, and you had them in Norway, and you continue with them in the UK, and you had a huge success with them in the UK. Yeah. So tell me how did the story with the Bouvier start, and how did it go?
Well, the Bouvier is Kari's breed. Yeah, mm-hmm. I mean, I take none of the honor for that, because that's my wife. She had a bitch when we married, and she's been very, very clever. She's gone to Europe even when it was quarantine and bought dogs, and she's been very close, passionate about them. And of course, we have had great success, as you know.
Yeah, yeah. I remember. I mean, when did you have stopped with Bouviers? Obviously, some time ago, but that has not been so long time ago. I remember your dogs winning a lot in the UK, also at the best in show level and at crafts.
Yeah. Well, we won a group at crafts, of course, and we were second twice. Yes, it's. What did you ask me? Sorry.
No. I was just asking, like, how did it go the story with the Bouviers, because I remember.
The thing is, it had to do with the docking. Yeah.
Okay.
When the docking, when we were not allowed to dock them anymore, some of the glamour disappeared.
Yeah.
You can easily live with theirs, because I think that doesn't hurt me. Hurt the car.
Because they're also hidden a little bit in the hair.
Yeah, but the tail for her was the deciding factor. Yeah. And also, of course,
yeah. That's actually sad, because many breeders in many different breeds, actually, who were absolutely top breeders, stopped breeding at some point when this cropping and docking bed started, because obviously there are, of course, it's from a person to a person, but I think in some breeds one can get used to the tail and ears, but in some breeds, I think in some breeds I will never get used to it.
I agree, and I don't think that the tail on Bouviers are that bad. Yeah, Kari thinks they're bad, but I don't think they are that bad. But they are. But I mean, remember when the breed was at its height, at the breed show in Holland, where was the biggest breed, there was 600 Bouviers entered. It was amazing. Huge. Yeah, amazing. Now it is 50, 60.
Yeah.
So it's a huge difference. I mean,
but it happened with many breeds. I mean, if you look the numbers in the countries where you cannot crop and dock, and when you compare the numbers of entries, let's say in the breeds like I don't know, Dogo Argentino or Cane Corso or the Dobermans, the numbers have gone so much down that it's obvious that a lot of people just stop breeding them because of this. But okay, it is what it is. I want to ask you, because you both were so successful with the Bouviers, when you compare the quality of the Bouviers more or less at the time when you started with the breed and at the time when you were winning so much with them, and when you compare it to the quality that you have now, do you think that the breed is going in a good direction, or do you think that it's in a problem with something?
Well, we're speaking about the UK, yeah?
Yeah, let's say.
Well, it's no direction at all, really, is it? So it's not the breed is almost process of disappearing. It's very low, and of course they are very Americanized. They overangulated behind, and they are quite Americanized.
Yeah, and tell me, Sigurd, if you would want to explain to somebody who is let's say starting to judge the Bouviers, if you would need to say what do you find to be the most important characteristics of the breed to which are like proving that the dog is of a correct type, how would you say that the real type Bouvier should look like?
But a Bouvier is quite a compact dog, and is average. It's averagely angulated in front, averagely angulated behind. It's strong. The head is different from a Schnauzer. It's relatively short, and it's a strong head, strong all through. And that's it. It's going to be sound, of course, moving around. Not like a shepherd. Some of them today is almost, is almost too much, isn't it? I mean, a Bouvier shouldn't move like a German shepherd. No.
Yeah. And tell me, if you look at the breed today, except of the fact that you said that many of them are under the influence of the American dogs, are being a little bit overangulated. What would you say? What else is the problem of the breed today? why the breed is going
Coats as
down.
well. I think the coats are a problem. So it's it's difficult. It's almost difficult to say too much because it's almost disappeared. The breed has almost disappeared, isn't it?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And when you look in the past, tell me how difficult is to groom the Bouviers, because they need to have a kind of a shape, and I know that in some countries they are a little bit less extreme, in the States and so on. They are a little bit more shaped, I think, with the scissors and everything. How difficult is the grooming on the Bouviers?
Well, it's not difficult if you know what to do.
Yeah, well,
it's
all the breeds is like that.
It takes a lot of work. You know, you want this not wolfhound, because not a wolfhound coat, but you want quite a harsh coat without being too harsh. You know what I mean? You need to model it as well, and that's it. And then you're gonna model it, and well.
Yeah, because obviously the grooming in the breed is quite important.
Yeah,
I mean, to get the general shape. Yes.
We some people maybe think that we model them too much. We didn't think so, but we like that. But it's a limit to everything, isn't it? You're gonna be a little bit on the middle.
To find a kind of a balance.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move now from the Bouviers to another breed. But before that, again, Sigurd, I need to pass some of the comments, because otherwise I'm going to lose them all, because there are so many coming all the time. Obviously, you are quite people like you in the dog world. So let me see. Where did I stop last time? Okay. Peter Akad is saying this is so inspiring. Jen Davis saying Sigurd talks of the old days and I miss them.
Yeah, we all do.
Delphine Maya is saying a large show Chihuahua lovers are watching. What can you tell and recommend about the breed? Well, you are not about a lot of Chihuahua people and lovers are watching. What you can tell and recommend the breed? You have never been.
I have never, but that's if you ask me later on what breed I would have, which I haven't done, I would say a smooth Chihuahua. I absolutely love them.
Yeah, they are really.
I love everything about them.
Yeah, I can agree about that. Francesco is saying this interview should be followed by the young generations. Wendy Brooks is saying Sigurd should write a book. Let me see. Anne Ingram is saying hello from Ireland.
Hello.
We have people watching from the USA. Let me see. I don't know how your wife is going to look at this, but Lotte Jorgensen is saying, I love you, Sigurd.
That's good. I love her too.
Agus Makara is saying, really enjoying the interview, Sigurd. Gerard Bruintje saying, greetings from Holland, watching the video now, great interview. Andrew Brace has a message for Kari, because obviously he has seen her passing, and he says, Kari doesn't need to lose any more weight. So you can tell her.
I'm saying that as well.
Yeah, Helen Davenport Willis is saying, hello, Zig, you are a natural in front of the camera. And then Andrew Brace made a comment which made many people laugh. He said, Sigurd has the most unique philosophy, sees an exceptional dog, falls in love with it, buys it, then asks what breed it is.
That's not far off, is it?
Yeah. Then Christina Seven is saying, maybe not that important for you guys, but my husband hates Wednesday evenings. He has to feed the dogs now. But for me, it's a great pleasure to listen to your guests. So you see. And then Andrew is saying again, I think Sigurd's answer to the improvement required in mini wires has to be the best answer of all of your interviews. Yeah, I could agree about that. John Blackburn Bennett is saying Sigurd is so passionate about dogs and so honest in his opinions. I'm so proud we are friends, well, family. Loving this interview. Love Kenny Snort Pointers and Stargang Dachshunds. Scarlett Burnside is saying, agreed, our Rottweiler was one of the last to be docked before it came into Ireland, and the breed just don't look the same, just like dopes and boxers. It will take a long time before I get used to seeing them like this over here and in Europe. Okay, so I'm not... Gerard is saying, love your comments about the Bouviers. It is so true. We are losing coat and many dogs are over-angulated. Yeah. Anyhow, so it is really a lot of people watching Sigurd and a lot of people being interested in what you have to say about different breeds. Let's go now to the pointers, because that has been definitely one of the big loves of your life. How did that story start, or should I say, how did it start? You have been somewhere judging and you saw an amazing dog and you bought it, I suppose.
Yes, that's absolutely right. That's the same story. I was judging in New Zealand in 2005 at their main show, together with Ole Stamskjær and Ronny Irving and a guy from America, which I don't know. Anyhow, we had a great time, and I was judging. One of the breeds I was judging was Rottweilers, and I'm telling you, stunning, absolutely stunning. I was almost in tears. They were so good. And my best of breed dog was Divine. And anyhow, I was down the breed, and the group judging is starting, and there was Leslie Sharma was the chairman of the club at the Kennel Club at that stage. I was standing next to Leslie, and she said, "How have you done?" And I said, "Wait till you see my Rottweiler." He said, "It's not going to be a dog in this show. It's going to be the Rottweiler." So I knew Ole Stamskjær was doing best in the show. I said, "The Rottweiler is going to go best in the show." So she said, "Well, slow down." He said, "That's you haven't." This is what he said. "Slow down, Sigurd," said, "you haven't seen them all yet." So I said, okay. Anyhow, what happened next was the Gunda groups was coming in. And remember, Gundogs was a long way from me. Yeah. And the Gundog had in come this pointer. And I just turned around to Leslie and I said, "The Rottweiler gonna go reserve Vestige." That's exactly what I said. The Rottweiler getting reserve Vestige. Because this pointer is just absolutely divine. I've seen a lot of good Rottweilers, but I've never ever seen a pointer like this. Showmanship, style, movement, bang. Anyhow, he went best in show. And the Rottweiler was
reserved.
Bingo.
Okay.
And I went up to the lady and I said,
I want to buy your dog.
I didn't say that. I said, "Can I borrow your dog? Can I lease you?"
Okay.
This time. Long story. But it ended up that we agreed on that I could have him over for England for a year. Yeah. And then here's the punchline. So I told Ronny Irving that this pointer is going to come with me. And he said, "Big mistake." I said, "What's the mistake?" Gun dogs, they don't love you. They won't let you in. Forget it. So I turned around and I said to Ronny, "I know you're the chairman of the Kennel Club. I know you are powerful, but why don't you leave the dog game to me?" So he laughed, and I rang Kari home because I told her we got in this pointer, and she didn't believe it. So I gave the receiver to Ronny, and he said, "He's not joking." He said, "It's true." But I have warned him. So don't say I haven't said it. He came home, and I flew the owner Diane Neal. I flew her over from New Zealand to handle him at his first show, which was Birmingham National. Huge entry. A very, very famous pointer judge called Kent was judging, and he was second. Got a reserve ticket. Bang! I was mega pleased. I can tell you that. I was very, very pleased. He got 3 reserve tickets on the trot. And then at Birmingham, at Blackpool, Frank Kane gave him the first ticket. Yeah. Bang, 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 bang. 5 tickets on the trot. Top dog, top pointer. He got 20 tickets. Well, we managed to persuade Diane to give us 6 more months with him. So we had him for 6 months. And he got 20 tickets in 18 months. And at that stage, it's changed now, but at that stage, no pointer had ever done so much winning in such a short time. Yeah, he was best in show at the National Gun Dog Association, and he won a few groups. So that's it really. And then the rest is almost history, because Joanne Blackburn Bennett was, of course, handling him because we couldn't handle him. I can't run, and Kari couldn't handle this dog. And she got involved, and yeah, it all grew from there. We bred him, we kept him. And the first litter he had was, we went to see the first litter by him, and it was a lot of excitement now. And it was so many championship shows there, people there that evening to look at these puppies. It was almost a joke. Anyhow, for me and for a couple of others, there was one orange dog in there which stood out. So I said, I want this dog. So they said, you can't have him because we're keeping him. So I said, okay, but you can have that one. No. I said, no, that's the one. Yeah, okay. We couldn't have him, so that's fine. We had the drinks and went home, and everybody was friends. As soon as we came home, he rang. What was his name? Royston, the breeder, rang me and said, Sigurd, we changed our mind because we think that the dog has a bigger future in your hands than it has in ours. And he was right, because we had him, and then he came home, and then Joanne wanted him.
I went up before you had the photo.
Yeah. So it's but I went picked him up. I went and picked him up that night, just in case he changed his hand. And he came home, and he did beat the male record holder. He didn't get the breed record holder, but he got the male record holder. And he won best in show at the All Breed Championship show and won a few groups. He was a fabulous dog. And then, of course, the next one, we were top breeders quite a few years. And of course, it all really, the big thing was, of course, the Crufts 2 years ago when we were reserve best in show with the bitch. That was, of course, the biggest thing.
Yeah. That's amazing. And you said you have now only 2 veteran pointers.
Yeah, 2 veteran pointers.
Yeah. Okay, so you are not going to breed them anymore.
No, we hadn't had them. Joanne, of course, Joanne is the driving force now, but of course, she had a very unfortunate fire, her house fire, and it was very, very disastrous. And we lost 2 very nice bitches, which was the ones we're going to breed from. And where she is now, she can't breed, so it's taken a long time to get the house up. So we lost 2 years really with the pointers, unfortunately, but that's life. So we have no young ones.
Things like this happen. Well, I hope that soon you are going to start to judge again, and you will find something that you will like, and then you can buy it and continue.
I know.
Anyhow, Sigurd, I want to ask you the same question I asked you about the Bouviers. If you would need to explain to somebody how the real type pointer should look like, what would you say that are the most important features?
The pointer is the aristocrat of the gun dog. He is an aristocrat. He's like a king. He has style and passion, and he got lovely style, a lovely outline. He got a slight curve over the loin and a nice sloping tail. And then he needs to have temperament. Too many of them lack temperament. He needs to be on his toes, moving around. And it's a little bit sad, really, because it's a sad story in the pointer there, because we got three different standards. We got the English standard, and I hope you don't mind me saying that English standard is the right one, because this is an English breed. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
And the head should be well filled out. It should be not narrow. It should be strong, but relatively rectangular, and it should be a slight dish. But remember the word slight. It shouldn't be a griffon. You shouldn't. I hate these South European griffon heads. Looks like that, you know. I hate them. And of course, the American standard asks for a straight foreface. Yeah, I don't hate that, but I like this because that's what we've grown up to like. I can live with a straight one, but I can't live with the South European griffon heads. I hate them.
Yeah. This is what I wanted to ask you, because where obviously at some point where I grew in Croatia, we used to have a lot of pointers coming from Italy, which have been bred mostly by the hunting people. And yeah, and it is at some point when people started to show imported dogs from the UK, it could happen quite often that they would get either very good, so people would complain
Charging
they're not
battery.
of correct type, and always the answer would be the head, because they are used to this. I don't know if they are Italian, but mostly in Italy I have seen
griffon heads. Like that. Yeah, I hate it.
And I mean, so I want to ask you. Okay, obviously you said you think that the UK standard is the right one, but how big is the problem that actually you have three standards which are completely different, and how to find the balance between that?
Well, it isn't really a problem for me because I know what I'm looking for, and we have had great success with American dogs, so that's not a problem. Another problem is the size, because of course in Scandinavia, the kennel clubs in Scandinavia, in their wisdom, have decided that the dog should be 5 centimeters lower. The maximum size on the breed is 69 centimeters. I can't even remember what the Norwegian standard says, but it says something silly like 65 centimeters or something like that. Sorry? Oh, yes. And the same as the Italian standard is also changed of the size.
Yeah. And tell me, Sigurd, what I want to ask you, how is the general quality of the breed in the UK at the moment?
Yeah, I think it's good.
It's good.
I think it's good. Yeah, I think it's good. We have some very nice ones.
Yeah. And another thing, you have mentioned it also before, and this is something that has not been something that I could connect with one country or another, because we have seen these hunting dogs coming from different European countries, and then we could see also some dogs imported from the UK, and probably you will know it better than me, but there is a lot of shy dogs, a lot of problems with the temperament. Where did that come from?
In the UK?
In general, I see a lot of pointers who are shy. I see a lot of problems in the temperament. Dogs which are afraid, actually, not only shy.
Well, I can only speak for the UK because that's the only thing I know, and I wouldn't say that we have a major temperament problem. We have the old one that might be a little bit weak, but the point is, because as you know, we've had a lot of breeds, and I mean, they are quite soft in temperament. You know, you can have a schnauzer litter and you can put them in a kennel and you can keep them in the kennel and almost take them straight out and show them. You can't do that with a pointer. A pointer need a lot of socializing. You need to take them out. You need them to get to use to people, and most of them.
Yeah.
We have a dog, our champion dog, which now is a veteran. He has an exceptional temperament. He is very extrovert, and but some of them are a little bit laid back, and that's the breed. But I wouldn't say they are afraid.
Yeah, yeah. And what about the health? Did you have any major health problems in the breed?
No, we haven't.
Yeah, no, that's quite important. Okay, before I start with the questions of your latest love affair, and these are the smooth fox terriers, let me just read few of the comments that I don't lose them. Let me see where did we stop. Let me see. Wait. Okay. Sandy Evans is saying, hello, Sigurd. Wonderful to be listening to you. Pirio Lamperro, that you have mentioned while you were talking about Dachshund, he says, thanks, Sigurd, for your honest comments about Dachshunds. Brian Aubrey is saying, what an honest interview. Nancy Evans is saying, Siggy, Clive, and I recall being second to Kari with her Bouvier at Crafts. We have Borge Espeland is saying, ask Ziegen which critique he remembers the best. I remember a lot of them. So I don't know what if you have. Okay. Gerard is saying, loved your comments about the Bouviers. It's so true. We are losing coat and many dogs are over-angulated. Joe Bellis is saying, Mr. Wilberg with a Chihuahua. I vote for that. Borg Espeland is saying, remember Shikoku best in show in Hungary. What breed is it? And you placed him best in show. And then there has been also a little bit of controversy because Hans Erhard Grittner got quite upset that Lotte loves you because he was thinking that she loves him. So now they are discussing there more or less who does she love more. Julie Wilberg is saying, good to see you and hear your stories again. Looking good, uncle. Okay, so this is what we were talking a little bit. I don't know if you want to add something about it. Ingva Fernley is saying, could you please say a bit about the pointer head? What is a good pointer head? It is so individual how much dish and lip the judges want in a pointer head. I don't know if you want to make an extra comment on that.
Yes, I will try. But of course, I really needed some photos to demonstrate this because the head on a pointer is a very, very, well, it's a lot of breeds very important. And for me, you can almost call me a head judge because the head is the first thing you see. And the head is the one you see when you watch television. And the head is the one you see when you lay on the sofa. And the head is the first thing you see when it comes to you. So the head is the breed really in a lot. Yeah. Of course, you want lips, but you don't want this Great Dane it was a smart lips, and you want the dish is not. It is a dish, yeah. It's slight concave, but it's not dramatic. It's not. That's what I'm trying to get across. It is. It's. And I would rather have too little than too much. That's sure.
Yeah. Okay. Anyhow, back to the story of the Shikoku that you played best in show in Hungary. Tamas Jakel is saying, yes, this particular dog won many best in shows and was the world winner. So the decision was perfect. He's unique in the breed. Jessica Ackerstrom is saying, hello from Sweden. I'm new to dog shows and I have a Pomeranian puppy. What is your best tips for success in handling? Can you say some?
Be keen and learn from the others. That's all I can say.
Yeah, that's always the best, to go around and to look from the good work. People.
If you want to learn, you will be surprised how willing the top guys is to teach you and tell you. But you have to ask, you know. You can't expect them to come and speak to you. You just go down a nice, polite way, and almost everybody I know will be, because everybody who love this game want new people involved. So you want to encourage people. You want to be kind. You want to help. That's the future. If you don't get new people in, it's all dies, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm going to die soon, so I can't do much difference.
Yeah, that's true. This is what I'm talking all the time about these shows. That really what we need to do is we need to try to encourage young people.
Yeah.
And we have so many amazing people like you in the sport, which are willing to teach young generations, which are willing to pass the knowledge to young generations. And we always come to this point, like I'm not so sure if the young generations are so motivated to learn from the older people in the sport, but I hope they are. And there is a lot of knowledge, and I hope that we also, with these interviews where so many people are watching, I think we can also change that in a way.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. Anyhow, there is Paul Sykes who is saying to me, Ante, your glass of wine never seems to go down. It's like the gift that keeps on giving. I must disappoint you, Paul. I have never, ever in my life drink a glass of wine. And even worse, this is a Red Bull, because I always drink that while I'm doing the interview to keep my concentration well. So unfortunately or fortunately. And another thing, then, I think this is going to be very nice for you to hear. You got a very nice comment from the president of the FCI, Tamas Jakel. He says Ziggy is one of the judges who can judge well, even without reading the standard of that particular dog, because he can understand and see the overall quality of a good. But it does not give an excuse for some others to do the same with a bit less natural talent.
Thank you, Tamas. Thank you.
Anyhow, then Dan Buchwald was asking to you, what's your take on USA pointers?
Yeah, I like them.
You like them?
Yeah, I like them. I like them a lot. It's some very, very good ones. The problem, not problem, but the fact, of course, in America is that you really have to go to the specialty shows, because at the smaller shows you see so few. We have been at a couple, and we were in Wisconsin years back, Joanne and Heather and Kari and me, and we fell in love with a lot of dogs. I can tell you one thing. In the morning, a dog came in, a black dog came in the ring, in the hall, and I turned around to the girls and I said, that's the best of breed dog. I said, I'm telling you, it won't be a better one here. And it was best of breed.
Yeah.
And it was top dog. It was fantastic dog. Yeah. And we fell in love with a bitch, a puppy bitch. And we got very friendly with Sally Barton, which now is a very good friend of mine. And I'm going to cut the story short, but we wanted to buy her, but then Kari said the tail, because, you know, the Americans allow the tail carriage to be higher than we do, like in England. And the girl said, you won't win with her because the tail is too high. So anyhow, we became very good friend there, and Sally, and we spoke about our dogs, and then we corresponded on email, and that when we came home, and she saw Martin, the dog I spoke to you about earlier on, yeah. And she wanted semen from Martin to this bitch. And we sent semen over to America, and she got a lovely litter. And we got a dog. We flew over, Joanne and I flew over and looked at the pups. And it was a gorgeous litter. And it was 6 champions in the litter.
Wonderful.
And we got a dog, which we brought home, and he was an English champion. It's a gorgeous dog.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they have some good pointers.
Okay.
But, of course, they have some average. And I did a specialty there, and I had some very good dogs. And the funny is, of course, that I ended up with a dog which was bred by that woman in Australia, New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You know your type. That's important. Then okay, let me see a few more things. Sarah Quillets is saying Chile was a stunner. Perry Burnside said yes, that was a fabulous beach, absolutely beautiful. And then Christine Loken Sonberg is saying, please ask Sigurd about the Scandinavian pointers. You mentioned a little bit, and if I understood well, you don't like them. You like the American ones.
It's a difficult one to say because she has been involved. I sent a nice pitch to her, very, very nice pitch some years back. And she mated her to a very, very old, famous dog, which had a frozen semen. And she bred a very good litter. So it is some good ones, but generally, it's not that much to be proud of.
Yeah. Francesco Pochetti is saying so well said about pointer heads. The extreme is to be condemned. Matthew Oddi is asking you. I will ask you that later on in the quick question. So Matthew will get your answer quite soon about that. Let me see. Jackie Browns is saying in these strange times, this has been a fabulous way to spend time. Thank you so much to you both. And then we have a question from one junior handler, which I'm extremely happy. And let me then start with that, our story about your latest love, and these are the smooth fox terriers. She is asking you, I'm a junior handler who shows smooth fox terriers, and I was wondering what you think the most important thing about the smooth is. So let's start with that. How would you describe a perfect smooth fox terrier, and how did you get in love with the breed?
Now, modesty is not much style. I'm sure you have discovered that, but I have to be modest about this. This is a new breed for me. Yeah. So I'm not going to sit here and tell the terrier people what the smooth fox terrier. I have a fair good idea what I think, but as far you speak to me about dachshunds, VVS, boxers, I've been there, I've done it, so I stand by it, but I'm not going to sit here and be a specialist on smooth fox terriers.
Okay, so but tell me, how did you get in love with the breed?
Well, I was searching for a new breed, and now of course we have the internet, haven't we? And I looked at a lot of dogs on the internet, and I saw some dogs which was owned by Sally Evans, and she breeds some fantastic. And I fell in love with these dogs, and I started speaking to her on the phone and on the internet, and we became friends. And then I said, I think I didn't even know that I wanted one at that stage. I just liked them.
Yeah.
And you can see that if you like pointers, you like fox terrier smooth. It's a little bit of the same. And then Sandy said, well, maybe we could send you one. So she did. And she sent me a very, very nice dog. And then as a loan on lease. And then I bought a bitch puppy from her, which is Amanda, which is the mother to the puppies I have now. And that's how it started.
Yeah. And during your long career in dogs, you had dogs from different groups, but you never had the terrier at home before.
No.
Well, the Boston.
I had a cat terrier for a short period, but basically, and I had the Scotty, as you know.
Yeah,
But no, I have never been really involved in terriers before now.
And what do you think about the smooth fox terriers? Is that something that is going to stay for a longer time at home?
Well, they will stay now because I'm running out of time, haven't I? So we have these puppies now. We're going to keep 2 puppies. We sent the father. We had big plans for this summer.
Yeah,
I bought,
we all have big plans for this
I bought
summer.
a lovely Bismarck dog from Germany, from Karl there. And he was supposed to do the winning through the summer. And the dog was the other dog which I got from Christer. We got a ticket with him when he was 6 months, and we wanted to make him up, but of course everything was cancelled. So the virus changed a lot of things.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're gonna keeping 2 puppies in this litter, and then
Run on heter det.
run on, she says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are going to see you in the next years with the smooth fox terrier.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yes.
Okay. And
That's the plan.
and it makes you exciting because
they are not an easy breed to keep. They are a difficult breed to keep compared to a lot of others.
why?
Well, they're quite fiery, and they love to fight, and I love them dearly, and they are more than anything else. They're beautiful.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
I wouldn't say that they're easy to keep, because they aren't.
Okay. Yeah, but anyhow, I'm sure that they are going to bring you a lot of excitement in the next year, because you sent me a photo of this puppy, which looks absolutely gorgeous, and
Yes.
I'm sure you are going to do very well with them. Okay, we have been talking a lot about different breeds and the things. I want to talk with you about few other things, but let me just read 2 of the comments before we start with these famous quick questions, which are usually difficult for people to answer, but I'm sure you will manage. Let me just read the comment from Andrew Braitz, who is saying, I wonder how many all breed judges could speak with such conviction about the breeds they owned or bred, maybe too busy talking about the fabulous judges' dinners they've enjoyed. Mr. Brace always likes to be provocative. And Francesco is saying, so wonderful to hear that Sigurd has been involved and interested in so many breeds, and this means to have an open mind and a better eye to more breeds. Let me ask you a few quick questions, Sigurd, and let's see what are your answers going to be. Which show that you judged till now you would consider to be the highlight of your judging career?
I've been thinking about this, and you think this is just because I want to please you, but it isn't. I must say I judged your show in Split in 2012, and that was a fantastic experience.
Thank you so
It
much.
was so different. I had no idea what you said. It was said that Andrew told me there was an evening or a night show, and well, I said night show. I thought, well, there's some lights on there, but when I came there and I took part in it, it was something very, very special.
Thank you so much, Sigurd. I really.
It's with the atmosphere, the dancing, and it was a huge experience.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it coming from you.
Of course, I've been to bigger shows. I've seen better dogs. Not that the big ones, the best ones wasn't good, but it was very, very special.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
The other one is when I did the breed show, the Bouvier breed show in the States. That was also very special. I had 50 champion dogs, and that was.
That's amazing. Yes. One difficult question for the people who were involved with many different breeds like you. Out of all the breeds that you had at home, which one is the one that you could never live without?
Well, that's impossible to answer because I only have fox terriers and 2 veteran now. So if you rephrase it and ask which one is my favorite of the ones I've had.
Yes, let's do it like that.
Then I can answer it, and then it is miniature white dachshunds, without any shadow of doubt.
Okay, that's an interesting answer. Yeah, the dachshunds are very special. I can understand that. Let me ask you another thing. Favorite Bouvier of all times, not bred or owned by you? Well, you don't need to say that.
I have no. I could. that's the movie who was best in show for me in America. But I don't know. It was a bitch from Canada, but
Yeah.
I don't know what her name is.
We don't need the name. And what about the pointer? That was actually the question that I think Matthew Oddy has asked. What would be the best pointer that you have seen in your life? Not bred or owned by you.
Sorry?
Not bred or owned by you.
Yeah, well, it isn't. It wasn't bred by me because it was bred by Sally Barton, and that was the bitch in that litter by Martin. She called her Cricket, and it's an orange bitch, and it's the best pointer I've seen. I wanted to buy her, I wanted to lease her, I wanted her home, but Sally was so much in love with her, so she would rather have her on a sofa in Ohio than best in show in England. And it wasn't nothing I can do about it. But she is stunning.
Yeah. Okay, that's an interesting interview.
She calls her one, and she'll be best champion in America or there. But she hasn't done any big winning because Sally hasn't got the money to campaign her professionally. And I don't think she would either because she likes the sofa.
Okay. Tell me, and that's another difficult answer for somebody like you who has been so successful in many breeds, but try to find an answer for this. What would be the best dog you ever bred?
Bred?
Yes.
Oh, that's Zulu. It's kind of Zulu. Without any shadow of doubt.
Yeah.
He won 23 groups in the United Kingdom, and he had 9 best in shows.
Amazing record, yes. Yeah, that was an easy answer. Another difficult question: the favorite win with your own dogs, something that you have won with your dogs that you will never forget.
Yeah, that was Chile when she was reserve best in show across.
The pointer.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, this we have already heard the answer to this question, and I'm sure that it's going to make many people happy. One breed that you never had at home and you would like to have, you said that would be the smooth Chihuahua.
Yes.
I'm not sure if Kari agrees with that or not, but anyhow. Now let's talk a little bit about people. One dog person who is not alive anymore and you terribly miss.
Sorry?
One dog person who is not alive anymore and you terribly miss.
Marion Spavin.
Marion Spavin. Okay. If you would need to think about one breeder who has always impressed you with the quality of his dogs over the years that you have been seeing his dogs, or as a judge or as a spectator at the dog shows, could you mention one breeder of any breed which has always impressed you by the quality of his dogs? And I want to make it a bit more difficult. Can you say one breeder from the UK, one from Norway, and one from the rest of the world?
Well, I go back to Marion Spavin. Of course, she is unfortunately not any longer with us, but Diana Melanie is. And the Dial-in Beagle Kennel is fantastic. They had dogs which were best in show when I started with dogs, and they have still dogs which are best in show. So that's very difficult to be. And I'm gonna have to I have to mention Ellen Blackburn as well, which is with the Stargang Dachshunds. I mean, she and that's 3 generations. That's quite funny because the Dial-in pointers, that's 3 generations, and the Blackburns are 3 generations with Ellen and Joanne and Heather, and they bred over 80 miniature Dachshunds. That's pretty good going.
Absolutely. And which breeder from Norway you would mention?
I will say different. I will say Scandinavia.
Okay, let's do Scandinavia.
And then I have Hagström, the Merrimack Irish Setters.
Irish Terriers.
Irish Terriers, yeah, of course. I think they are unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I would also mention from Ireland, Diane Ritchie, Sigurd Ritchie with Glendarif Irish Setters. Fantastic.
Yeah. And okay, well, the Ireland could go for the rest of the world. You want to mention somebody else, or we are fine like this?
Sorry? No,
Do you want to mention somebody else, or
I
we
can
are fine like this?
so many.
Yeah.
It's no. You have Ernst Beeson with the Pekingese, and I have it's loads.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I want to ask you another question, and usually I was
And my brother,
asking.
also, my brother
Yeah.
is my brother is up there.
Yeah, of course. They had no. I have rephrased this question a little bit because before, when I would ask something like that, people would usually like they never want to say somebody because they think somebody else will get upset and so on and so on. So I find this that it's easier for people to answer. So I'm going to ask you like this: you are having now this top quality smooth fox terrier puppy. And let's imagine that in 2 or 3 years, he's going to be one of the top dogs in the country. And you are going to win Best in Show at Crafts with him. Under which UK judge you would like, or you would be especially honored to win Best in Show at Crafts?
Albert White. But he's already done it, so he won't do it in 3 years.
Yeah. Okay. Anyhow, in 4. Okay. And tell me, let's say that you have a litter of puppies at home, and you have doubts about which one is the best puppy of the litter. Which judge outside of the UK you would invite to help you to choose the puppy?
Outside the UK?
Yes, outside of the UK. Who is somebody who you really respect and
Yeah, they have to be alive. Yeah, somebody's alive.
Yeah, it would be nice that they are alive. Yes.
Yeah, because if it could be anybody, I would have Ole Stanskjer to have a look. But of course, he's unfortunately not with us anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have Per Iversen as well. He's very good.
Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Two wonderful. My regards to Perry. If he's watching the show, he's absolutely one of my favorite people in the world. Anyhow, if you would need to thank, let's say, to 5 people, they can be alive or not alive, who have helped you in the dog world to become what you are today, to which 5 people you would thank?
What do you say now? Repeat the question.
So if you would need to thank to 5 dog people in life who have made the biggest influence on you as what you are today, a successful breeder and a judge and everything, who would you thank to?
The first one is Olaf Roig. He was the Secretary General of the Kennel Club when I started. And he was my tutor. And he had a good eye to me. And he helped me enormously. Yeah. And I learned a lot from him. I don't think he was the greatest judge. I don't think so. He was a good judge, but he was a great person. And he was a great teacher. And listen to this. One thing, very often when I've been out judging, afterwards you put a video on and you go through all what you've done. Yeah. And you say, well, maybe I should have had that one and that one. And this is what he taught me at that early stage. He said, Sigurd, when you've been out judging, on your way home, in the car, in the aeroplane, or wherever you are, you put a video on, or it was the film in those days.
Yeah.
And you go back, and when you come to the stage and you're saying to yourself, that was fantastic, I wouldn't change a thing. He said, pack it in, because you lost your self-critique. And I think that I've thought about that through the years so many times, and I think he was very right. You might not have been right or wrong. It's difficult. Judging isn't easy. And if you just say judging 100 dogs on the day, and if you don't say to yourself, maybe I should have had that first or that second, maybe, then I think you lost your self-critique.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Who else would you like to thank?
I would like to thank Ole Stanskjer, Hans Lettin, Andrew Brace as well. How many is that?
Yeah, that's okay. We are on 4, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. I know that absolutely Ole and Hasse had a huge influence of many dog people and I can understand that because I was privileged to meet them both, and they were really amazing dog people. That's so I can understand that. Okay. One question when we were, because you were a little bit nervous when I said to you that I'm not sending the questions in advance because you said that you don't remember so well the names of the dogs. I'm the same. I don't remember any names, not of dogs and not of people. But you said if I ask you a question, what is the best dog you ever judged? You perfectly know the answer. So share it with us.
Yes, it's two dogs. I
Okay.
don't separate them. It's Ferrandon Skarmark, the Carry Blue. I gave him, believe it or not, but I gave him his first best in show. Hans Lettin gave him the group at Southern Counties in '99, or maybe it was '98, and I made him best in show. And he went on to win a lot of best in shows. He was best in show at Crufts. He was best in show at Westminster, and I think he won 170 best in shows in the States. And the other one is Travella Sterling Steel, Bill Brown Cole's dog, which
the Wire Fox
is the top winning dog of all time in the United Kingdom. I gave him a group.
My wife gave him the first.
I gave him a group, and Kylie gave him best in show.
The first.
Wonderful. So two terriers.
Two
terriers. Wonderful.
And I think that's
okay.
Well,
yes,
you can't beat terriers for top winning, can you?
Yeah, absolutely. When you see a top terrier, and I mean in general, the good thing is that many times when I talk about people and we talk, about this, how difficult it is to judge dogs of different type in different countries, then we always come to the same conclusion, and this is good terriers are everywhere good terriers, and this is probably why they are so easy. Okay, and my last question for tonight, it has nothing to do with the dogs. You need to answer this. What is the best Domino pizza?
Texas barbecue.
Texas barbecue. Okay, so I never had it, but I'm going to try it because they opened now also in Croatia. So I'm going to try that one, and I will let you know if I agree with you or not. Okay, let's continue now with a few more questions for you, Sigurd, about your life in dogs. And this one is going to be about breeding, because I'm sure that many people would like to hear that, because you have been successful in so many breeds. What is actually your breeding strategy? How do you choose the dogs which you want to mate? How important is the pedigree for you? Do you use a lot of line breeding, or you like to do the outcross? And also, what is very important, do you think in the same way about breeding in all the breeds, or you have different strategies in different breeds?
Stafford Summerfield.
I learned something from Stafford Summerfield many years ago. And he said to me, don't make dog breeding too difficult. You make nice dogs to nice girls. So we have always tried to breed for type, and I have never been that keen on pedigrees. So our breeding is all over the place. I'm not saying we don't look at pedigrees, because we do, but we try to find stud dogs which we like and which we think fits in, and the parents fits in. That's basically it, really.
Yeah, so that's an interesting theory, because it's something similar to what Tina said last week, and she said, I'm not interested to see the pedigree of an ugly dog, and that's more or less what you say. You find a nice dog and a nice bitch, and you make two of them, and you just hope for the best.
Yeah.
But did you find it? You have been breeding different breeds. Do you find that it's much more difficult to breed some breeds? Did you have more easy some breeds than the other ones? How much does it change from one breed to another?
I don't think it really changed that much. I don't think so. I don't think it's different emphasis, of course, in different breeds, but I don't think it changes that much. The thinking is the same.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Okay. And then to continue on that subject, when you are, for example, now you have a litter of two fox terriers, and you said you are going to keep two. When do you choose the puppies that you are going to keep, and what it is that you look for? And does that, for example, change from one breed to another? Because some people were saying in some breeds I could see already the dogs at 7 weeks, but in some other breeds I can see them easily with 12 weeks. What is your experience with that?
once again, I don't think it changed that much from breed to breed. You see them, basically, you really start making your mind up when they are 7, 8 weeks, don't you? You start looking at them earlier. Obviously, you follow your puppies all the way, and then you select them. And if you have the space and you have the time and the money, then you can keep a few and see what happens, obviously. But that's not so easy. Most people, us included, can't really keep a lot of dogs. So you have to make your mind up pretty quick.
Yeah. This is the problem that I have. I can never make up my mind, and then especially when I involve Javier in the story, we can never agree about the dog.
No, that's very true. That's very true.
Yes, that's why we always finish with keeping at least two puppies from the same litter. And I must say that usually he's right and I'm wrong, but still, yes, it's not. Sometimes it's not easy to make up your mind when they are still the puppies. It's quite difficult.
No, that's true, and they develop differently, and of course we haven't got much experience with smooth fox terriers, so we're on the learning curve there. But the others, of course, they develop differently. But in pointers, I mean, you pick them early.
Yeah. And another thing that I wanted to ask you, does it make a difference when picking up the puppies, let's say between the breeds like the pointers or the smooth fox terriers who don't have a coat, for example, with the bouviers who have a coat, how important, for example, is for your eye when the puppies are 7, 8 weeks to shape them a little bit to get the picture, or you can look at them natural without anything being done on grooming side, let's say?
Yeah, well, I mean, you're trying to trim a little bit on them, of course, but you can feel them. You see the outline. You feel the angulations. Of course, it's easier to pick a smooth one. Of course.
Yeah. You see what you see, you get. That's how they say.
But you see the bouviers. You see them move around up and down, and you see them move around. Yeah, it's.
Yeah, I suppose also when choosing a puppy, and that's something that all the people say. Obviously, temperament is one extremely important thing, because when you have this puppy who knows to carry himself, even if it has some faults, it's easier to pass them.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. Before we say a few words about judging, Sigurd, let me just read a few of the comments. Obviously, Andrew Brace was happy that you mentioned Marion Spevin, and he says, lovely to see Marion Spevin recognized so strongly. And then also her granddaughter, Melanie Raymond, say, thank you, Sigurd. That's a huge compliment.
I want to say one thing more about Marion. Very often we discuss who should have made this, who should have judged best in Sovak crafts. Yeah, and I think it's almost a scandal that the Kennel Club didn't invite her to do best in Sovak crafts. It really almost hurts me, because it was such an obvious. She was not a Kennel Club member. She didn't fit in with the Kennel Club people, I guess.
Yeah.
But her knowledge and her standing in the dog game should have given her that job. That's
no doubts about that. I can only agree with that. Okay, Andrew has mentioned, but I don't know exactly on what it was. What you said, he says exactly. Without that element of self-doubt, judges can never be great. And then Carol Ramsey is saying 1999. We will never forget. Thank you so much. Anastasia Goncharova is asking you, Sigurd, which dog will you remember, or which dogs will you remember as the best dogs you have judged in the last few years in the UK? I don't know if you want to say that because it's possible.
Yeah, I just said the 2 terriers, didn't I?
Yes.
In a few years, but yeah, well, I mean, Striking Steel is that's only a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
The Travella dog, that's only 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Another one, of course, was Juicy, the pointer, which I made best in show. It's only one pointer. No, we had one of them. We had Martin went best in show, and she went best in show. I made the best in show.
Wonderful. Okay, Andrew Brace, even if we didn't finish yet, he's saying, can we please have 2 more hours? No, Andrew, we cannot have 2 more hours. Anyhow, he has also wrote something because you mentioned Stafford Sommerfield, and he says Stafford Sommerfield's advice was stolen from his wife, Dibby, who said to breed good-looking puppies, you made a good-looking bitch to a good-looking dog, and if the pedigree looks pretty, then it's a bonus.
That's exactly what I said. I mean, it's she even liked me, so she had a good eye for boys.
Okay. And Andrew also writes absolutely correct about Marion not judging best in show at Crafts. It's a scandal. Jason Joy saying, great listening to you. Martina, Joanne Blackburn Bennett saying, very honored, Sigurd, you mentioned Mam and Sagak Dachshund as one of the best dog breeders. And then I have a question from Ellen Gunnarsson. She says, I've noticed that Sigurd uses very colorful language at the written critiques on dogs he really likes, which I think is very refreshing. Is it something he does to single them out from the rest, or something that just comes to him?
It comes to me. It comes to me. When I really see a dog I like, it comes. The superlatives comes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the faults. Who cares? You know, it's the advantages which is important. That's what makes the dog great. It's not an air or it's the overall picture.
I must say that we have been many times talking in my interviews about written critiques, and I think it is great that we still have people like you who can make them a little bit more special, because to get all the time the same piece of paper which says good type, good head, good neck, good top line, moves well, when you have a top quality dog, you really want sometimes that somebody really writes something a little bit more special, a little bit more different about your dog.
I think so. And with the critique writing, I think it's important that when you give a dog very good or good, it's important that you tell them why, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because otherwise there is no sense of the written critiques.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Okay, you, Sigurd, you started to judge in 1967, and you have judged all around the world. I want to ask you, how difficult it is to be an all breeds judge?
Yeah. Well, I don't know really. It's the problem is, of course, that when you get invited to Europe, of course, you get sometimes invited to do breeds you haven't ever seen. You know, it's just, and that's not so difficult if you see dogs like the one I made best in show in Hungary, because even a blind man or woman can see the quality of that one. But it's when you see breeds and you don't really know much about them, and you're going to evaluate and see how good are they. Yeah, I find that difficult. And
talking about that, what you mentioned, after so many years of judging different breeds all around the world, do you still have, let's say, a breed which you are always excited to judge, and do you still have one breed that when you get invited, you need to prepare yourself a little bit more because you still don't understand it completely?
Yes, I think you have both those. I would be honest to say that. Yeah, but I can't say the one breed I'm excited about judging because it's I enjoy that. It's easy. I enjoy judging, and I'm doing my best wherever I am. And sometimes I get it right. I hope I get it right more times than I get it wrong.
Yeah.
But you get invited, as I said, to judge breeds, and you really have to do a lot of homework. Yeah, but I mean, obviously, if I judge pointers, I'm not sitting for weeks and studying the pointer judge standard.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of work. You need to work on it.
Yeah. Andrew Brace is saying the moment an exhibitor reads the critique, they know instantly how much the judge knows the breed, and this is what we were saying. This is a power of the written critique, because you can really show to the world that you have the knowledge about the breed. Yeah. And then Ellen Blackburn is saying one of my pet hates in a critique is the word nice.
Yeah, because it doesn't say anything.
Exactly. And Dave Lee is asking you, good evening, Sigurd and all. I believe you started in dogs with the German Shepherds. How would you compare the breed today from the dogs of early days?
Well, they're very different, aren't they? They are very different. They are more extreme. They're more curved of the loin, and they are quite different. But that doesn't mean to say that I don't like the ones. I don't like all of them, but the best ones today are very good. The best ones before was very good. But that's the same if you go back and look at the pointers 20, 30 years ago, it looks like a different breed as well. So
well, the breed changes. Unfortunately, some of them they go in a good direction, some of them not. But it's obvious that
I think I have a feeling, but of course I don't know so much now, because I started out in German Shepherd. But the thing with the German Shepherd is that as long as you judge only German Shepherds, you know about German Shepherds. But if you judge more breeds than German Shepherds, you don't know anything about German Shepherds. It's quite amazing, isn't it? Huh? It's going to be the only. This is going to be the only thing in the world where the more you know, the less you know. You know?
Yeah.
Is it possible?
Yeah. You know? It is possible.
Because but it's typical. I judge breed shows, German Shepherd breed shows all over Scandinavia. As soon as I just started to judge other breeds, they all disappeared. No invitation.
Yeah, that's true. They are special. They are special people. Yeah.
And that's the German has a lot to answer for. It's a lot of money. A lot of money involved in this breed.
Yeah, that's true. Anyhow, before I ask my question, let me read through 3 more comments on this subject. Mikael Nilsson is saying, I love your passion, Sigurd. A win under you always was a bit more worth. Hope to see you again soon. And then Andrew Bray saying, my English teacher taught me that the weakest adjective of all was nice. And Christine Sonberg is saying, best critique I ever got from Sigurd on a Pembroke. This dog was made on one of God's best days. Moves and stands like the Lord himself. I still get chills. This is what we were talking that of course when you write to somebody a critique like that on his dog, then it's something that this person will never forget. And I hope we can have more people like that, like you in that way. Tell me, Sigurd, when you compare the judging system in the FCI countries and in the UK, which one do you prefer?
I think that's impossible to answer. I can't. I like both. It's a totally different way of judging. This is it's solely a problem. It's not a problem for me. Remember, I was brought up in Scandinavia, so I was bred with the FCI system. So I understand that, and I had a lot of experience in England before I started judging here. So I understood the English system as well. The problem with some of the European or the non-British judges coming to England is that they just don't seem to understand that it has nothing to do with quality. It has to do with quality, obviously, but I only asked to place them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nobody asks you how good they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only quality decision you do is you're going to decide whether the dog is worthy of a champion, whether you're going to give it a certificate or not. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's an easy one to teach people when they come out to judge, because you said don't forget about it, just give them the tickets and don't think about it. Yeah. Because everything else would cause so much stir. But that seems to be very, for some, even if you sit with them the day before and tell them that, their background, they said, yeah, but it wasn't any good. So I said, that's, you're not asked about that. You only asked to place them from 1 to 5 on the merit of how good they are, not how good they are in relation to the standard.
Yeah.
So this
is the difference because obviously in the FCI countries you can give the written critique, or you can give a mark very good, and then you don't need to consider them. Yeah, it is. I understand it's a different way of judging. I want to ask you another thing about judging, because both you and Andrew few times have been criticized about being fast when judging. What do you think about that kind of things? I mean, obviously it is, you know in your head what you like and what you don't like, so you don't need to think 2 hours about it. Tell me how do you feel when you come inside of the ring, and what are your thoughts? How do you find your winners?
Yeah, you find them very quickly normally. You find them very quickly. Sometimes you find them before you even start judging them. But yeah, I can understand that. I sometimes have been criticized for being too quick, and I think I have tried to modify myself a little bit on that. I understand that, but judging is all a question of decision making. Yeah.
Yeah.
And some people find it easier to make decisions than others. And I find it generally quite easy to make a decision. I hate judges who stand there. There are 2 dogs, and look at them. I said, for God's sake, make your mind up. Yeah. One of them has to be number 1, and the other has to be number 2. So why do you need to spend so much time?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
okay. That's a good argument about it. Yeah, I agree. Well, of course, as you said, I think it comes to the personality. To some people, it's easier to make the decisions, and to some people, it takes a little bit more time. But I think it's just a question of a style.
Yeah, so, I think the main thing is that you basically, I'm not speaking about the final, but when you go over the dogs, that you spend the same time on the bad ones as you do on the good ones. You know what I mean? That you don't that you don't discard the less good ones without even looking at them. That's very, very bad.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, I want to ask you, I have only 2 questions left for you, Sigurd, and we have been talking for 2 hours and 5 minutes now, and I'm happy that a lot of people are still watching, and we have over 200 comments, so it has been really amazing. I want to ask you one thing, and we have mentioned it before. If somebody young approach you and says he wants to become successful in the sport, doesn't matter as a judge or as a breeder or as an exhibitor, what would be your advice for a young person? What is the most important thing to be successful in the dog sport?
Well, it's the most important thing is to get a good dog, isn't it? Must be.
Yeah.
That has to start with a good dog. Must be.
Yeah. And do you like to mentor young generations?
I don't mind, but it's not.
Yeah.
You have the system in Scandinavia. When I'm there, I do my best.
Yeah. Okay. I want to ask you something, and maybe it's going to be difficult to answer, or maybe not. But I usually get a lot of private messages from different people from all around the world after the interviews, and they ask me why you asked this, why you didn't ask this, and blah blah. And I got an interesting message last week after the interview with Tina. A young person from, I think, from Denmark, I'm not sure, said we always talk about these new generations and how we need to find new generations and educate them and give them the knowledge and help them to be successful and so on and so on. He says maybe you can ask your guests if they have seen in the last few years, or if they have mentored somebody in the last few years, or if they have seen somebody showing the dogs or breeding the dogs, somebody young who is just starting in dogs, that they would like to mention as a good example of a young person in the sport. So is there somebody that you see for at the moment, somebody young in the sport who in your opinion is doing a very good job with breeding or showing or whatever?
Yeah, I have a young lady called Sophie Wilding, which has done a lot of handling, and she's now a nice woman now, but she is really keen. And she, as a matter of fact, I have a fox terrier in partnership with her now. So
okay, that's nice, because I think this is also I was thinking a lot about that message that I received, and I think it is quite important that we also sometimes like encourage these young people. And if we see some young people who are doing well, that we say, okay, yes, this is a young person I have seen lately, and I want to encourage it and help it to be more successful.
Yeah,
so I'm very happy. Very happy that you had an answer to that question. My last question for tonight, Sigurd, and that's going to be an interesting one to hear from you. And this is, how do you see the future of the sport? What do you think is going to be happening? Are you optimistic or you are pessimistic? What are your thoughts? In general, what are your thoughts on the future of the sport? And in the same way, do you have advice for the dog people, especially the dog people who are in charge or of our future? What can be done to look to everything look a little bit more optimistic?
Yeah. Well, it's a very difficult, of course, question, as you know, to answer. I want to be optimistic, because if you are not optimistic, there's no future, is it? So I think you have to be optimistic. It's but you can see a lot of sky, a lot of clouds as well, can't you, on the sky? I think the kennel clubs and the organizations needs to get more involved with the governments and on that side, on the lobbying and all that. That's a huge job to do that, which I think we have to do better than we have done, because the anti-dog lobby is so strong. So that's it.
But in general, we can say that you are optimistic.
Yeah,
yes. Or you must be optimistic.
Yeah, I must be optimistic. I think that's right. And I mean, it's I don't want to sit here, have people listening to me and say it's all going to die, because I don't think it will. But it will be different, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure.
A lot of the old guys, it has a saying, isn't it, that the best time is behind us? But I'm not sure about that. We have good dogs. We have young people coming up. A lot of things on the positive side.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice to hear from you, because yes, there is obviously a lot of people who are all the time mentioning, the golden age, the good old times, and so on. And obviously, yes, but yes, I could agree with you. Yes, there are still good dogs around, and there are still good young people in the sport who want to do something significant. And yes, we should be optimistic and we should encourage them. That's absolutely a great thing to say. Anyhow,
that's one of the things you experience when you judge abroad, especially in Finland. You see all these young people. When you go to dog shows here, you feel you're almost going to a retirement home. But but in Finland, especially, you know, it's a lot of young people, a lot of young girls.
Yeah, yeah. I think this is true. That maybe UK is one of these countries where it's not so easy to see young people around. But yes, especially in Scandinavia, it's amazing. Especially if you go and you judge these junior handling competitions, you can see really a lot of young people
Yeah,
and
yeah.
extremely talented young people, and that obviously is quite optimistic, and I'm always happy to see that. Anyhow, before we say goodbye to all our viewers, I'm going to read one comment from Andrew about you, which has also caused a lot of people saying how genius you are. He say, I remember standing ringside with Sigurd many years ago, watching someone take forever to decide between two dogs. Sigurd said, "She's taken so long taking these dogs apart, she can't put them back together again."
I know, I know, I know. Isn't that good?
Yeah, that's really good. I like that one absolutely a lot. Okay. Anyhow, let's finish this with a few more comments, um, which I suppose are going to make you happy because there have been a lot of people watching. There have been a lot of people commenting. Heather Stewart is saying, "Great interview. Thank you to both of you." Valentina Barcela is saying, "We need more Sigurd in our sport." Tina Taulo saying, "Unfortunately, many young people are not interested in breeding dogs. They only want to win without doing nothing. We need dogs in the future too if we wanted our sport to survive. Long live purebred dogs, especially brachy breeds." Um, Vanya is saying, "Ante, thank you so much for making our Wednesday evening so interesting." Blah, blah, blah. Mr. Wilberg, it was a pleasure watching and listening to you. Loved it and wish it kept going for another 2+ hours. Thank you so much. Maeve McCarthy saying, "Well done on a great interview. Thank you. It was very enjoyable." Joe Bailey saying, "Thank you for this beautiful moment." So many people have been watching and listening to us, and I'm extremely grateful for your time, Sigurd, that you have agreed to share your time and your knowledge and your passion for dogs with us, which is absolutely inspiring, especially for the young people in the sport. I think many people look at you and think, okay, one day if I want to be something in the dogs, I would like to be like Sigurd. And I really thank you for that, and I'm sure that you will enjoy watching the interview later on again on Facebook and read all the comments, because obviously I didn't manage to read them all because there have been let's say 230 of them. Before we say our last words to our viewers, and I'm going to leave that to you, I want to say that somebody who has obviously been watching the show and has commented that has enjoyed watching this interview is going to be my guest next Wednesday. This is Valerie Nunes Atkinson from the USA, a famous breeder of the German short-haired pointers who have won Best in Show with the famous CJ at Westminster Kennel Club in 2016. I'm very excited about having Valerie as my guest next Wednesday. I hope that many people will join. Before we say goodnight, Sigurd, I give you the pleasure to say a few last words to our viewers and to many of your friends who have not been able to see you in the last year because of this pandemic, but are looking forward to see you soon somewhere in live, not only on the screen.
I want to say I want to say thank to all the people who have helped me with this fantastic job, sport through the years. I want to thank the people who's taught me. I want to thank the people who sold their dogs under me, and I want to thank them for the way they have received my decisions. And I hope that I will live to see you all again. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, Sigurd. I wish you all the best. I hope that these crazy times are going to pass soon, and I'm really looking forward to see you in live somewhere and to see your new puppies, which you are so excited about. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Good night, and see you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Very much.